Hello, Klaus here, and welcome back to yet another video. It is so lovely to have you back here at the channel. If you are new to this channel and want to learn more about filmmaking, Davinci Resolve, tips and tricks, and have a look at some cool gear, please consider subscribing. Well, talking about subscribing, in today's video I'll show you how you can create your very own subscriber button or subscriber graphics for your videos, and we're going to do this all inside of Fusion. So without further ado, let's get right to it.
Okay, so let's get right to it. Let's go into the effects library and drag down a Fusion composition, and then let's head over to Fusion and let's get started. So here we have our media out node, and we're starting by adding in a background node and connecting the background. So first up, I'm going to go into the inspector and make the background transparent by hitting up here. And now we have a transparent background. I'll go into the media pool. I'm going to drag down a logo, and I'm going to drag down a mouse cursor I did. So first off, we have here the logo. I'm going to push Ctrl F2 on my keyboard, and I'm going to rename this to YouTube, and I'm going to do the same for the media too, and I'm going to write arrow because then I know what is what. So first, next thing up, we're going to take down the merge. I'm going to add in my YouTube logo here, like so, and then I'm just going to change things up in the merge node here, and I'm going to make it a lot smaller because we don't need to be that big. So I'll just rearrange the space a bit so I have a little space to work with, and I think I will make it a little bit smaller, something like that will be good. So I'm going to drag this out of the frame here. I'm going to hit the keyframe at the center. I'll go 8 frames in, and then I'm just going to move it up like so. Then I will go pretty far into our timeline, hit the keyframe again, and I'll go couple of frames forward, and I'll just drag this out of frame. So now we have this little animation here, our logo coming up, and our logo disappearing again. And that's what I want to do. So next up, I'm going to drag in a background, and then I'm going to take another merge node, and I'm going to connect the background to the merge node, and I want this to be my background. So I'm going to right click and drag and select background. I'm just going to connect this merge to make that the foreground. And then I'm going to take a rectangle tool. I'm going to connect that. And then I'm just going to take the rectangle and I'm going to change the size of the background until we have something I want. Let's say something like that. Okay. So again, I'm going to add a keyframe in the center again of the rectangle. I'll go to the move the keyframes a bit. And like you can use the arrow keys to go forward and backwards with that. So I think that's fine. So I'll go to this particular place and hit the keyframe again. And then I'll just make this background shape disappear. Like so. And now we have this beginning of the animation. And that's what I want. So I do want to change the color to a reddish color, like that. Maybe a little darker. Let's go with this look Then I just need a little more space as well. So I'm going to take down a text. I'm going to write subscribe. Like so, and then I'll go into the strokes and I'm going to change this to 3 so it will have a shadow. And I am going to put in a merge node as well. Connect that to, and now we have our text, and I'm going to make the text a little bit bigger. Something like that. And then I'm just going to hit Control-C, Control-V to do a copy. I'll then go up to the inspector and change the text and adding a little letter. And then I'm just going to push this aside and thinking about that later on. So for this thing, I just wanted, again, to go into the merge and add a keyframe at this particular time. And then I am just going to very quickly animate the text so it will follow the rest. Good. So this is what we have for now, and then I'm going to take in the arrow thing here. I'm going to add a merge node. Again, going to add the arrow as a foreground, and then I am going to size this down quite a bit, like so. I'll go to the beginning and I'm going to drag out my arrow. I'm going to hit a keyframe. And I think around, maybe it should be around here. I'm going to hit the keyframe yet again. Then I'm going to go some frames forward. I'm going to put in my arrow, or drag in the arrow here. Going again some frames forward, putting another keyframe, and then just dragging the arrow out of the frame. So now we have this thing. And that's what I want. I'll go into the keyframe editor here, and then I'll go down to the merge, which are represented by merge 3. And I'm just going to make the merge node very much shorter so the text will disappear, as you see right here. And then I just want to add in another merge node. And I'm going to add in my text 2 I did. And I'll make sure that that is going to be a foreground, and then I am just going to go back in time. So I can have my text here. I'm going to align the second text. I'll go into the merge and I am going to size it up a bit to make it fit. And I'll make it a bit bigger as well. Okay. Something like that, a little bigger. So the basic idea is to make it fit over the first text here. Okay, with that being done, I'll go into the keyframes, and then I'm going to find my merge node 5, which is up here. And then I'm just going to figure out where it should be. So I'm just going to go a couple of frames back, and as soon as this cursor comes up, it should shift, because that should be like a click. We have that done here. So now we have this thing. Good. And then we just need to animate the text out of the frame. Again, I'm going to hit the keyframe around here, just going some frames forward, just going to move the text down very fast, something like that. So this is the basic subscribing animation, but I think we can add a couple of things though. So let's say I want the background color, which is here. I want that to change over time. So I'm just going to hit the keyframe at the color and go forward. And then I want it to change around here. Okay, so I'm just going to push the keyframe here, and then I am going to change the color into a gray color. So now we have this thing, which is quite nice. And then I also want to change something in my text. So I'll go into the color and I'm going to change the color of the text to something like that. I think that's good. Looks fine. So let's have a look at that. Like so. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, I kind of like that animation. And this graphic as well. That's pretty nice, I think. So I am going to add in a drop shadow as well, because I want to give it a little bit of something. So I'm going to add in the drop shadow, not at the first text, because that's not what I want, but I want to add in the drop shadow at the background, which is the one with the rectangle tool. So we have a bit of a shadow. So, and then if I go into the inspector, I can change all the settings for this drop shadow. And let's see what I actually do want. I want to blur it, something like that. And then I am just going to Control C and Control V to add, or to copy paste that, and I'm going to add that onto my logo as well. And it's going to give that logo a little bit as well. It is a PNG, so it doesn't have so much to work with, but there is a little bit of shadow we can add here. Something like that. I think that looks good. So there we go. We have our subscriber graphic done pretty fast, like so. Okay, and there's just one little thing left to do. Let's go to the edit page, and here we have our composition. Then I can just drag this up to my media pool, and I'll have it up here, and I'm just going to rename that to subscribe button. Let's call it that. And then I can just drag that down. And just to show you that it actually has a transparent background, I can just drag down my clip here, and here we have the subscribe graphic.
Hello, Klaus here, and welcome back to yet another.
Like so. Let's just erase that. And then if I want to use this in other projects, I can just drag this into my PowerBins master, and it will be there right here, so I can drag it in other projects. Anyway, I do hope you found this video useful. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, share it with your friends if you think it will help them out, and if you want to be notified every time there's a new video on this channel, please hit that bell icon down in the corner. Until next time, keep filming, keep learning, and keep sharing.